All right, guys, welcome back to Brothers and Sons. We are an online community that exists to see young men become the solution, to see a generation uplifted, transformed, and becoming compelling people. And we do that through talking about big topics, through answering your questions, and through just being there with you. So, if you actually have a question you'd like for us to tackle, we're going to make an episode tackling one live. And so, send us a question. We're going to put out a box on that in the next few days, like on Instagram. But we look forward to being a part of that curiosity that you're facing. So, I think JP is going to talk about what we're going to discuss today.
Yeah, so guys, we are in episode 6, which is honestly really incredible to even say out loud. So, we started recently this new series called Redemptive Health, which basically is a way to take back your health, right? So, in different areas, like we're going to cover today fitness, our diet, our sleep, energy, mental health, even spiritual health, all of the things that make a man whole, in his life. So today we're going to go over fitness. Nathan and I are going to go over practical ways we can implement this in our lives, kind of what's worked for us,
Yeah.
what we want our future to be, our framework for health, and how we can bridge that gap for you guys and for ourselves. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think before we even get into it, we talked about this in our outlining health episode, but just a quick touch about our backgrounds on this. I mean, I know that fitness, I actually think we have a lot of overlap in our stories on fitness, but
Mhm.
got into it at 16.
Mhm.
You like just through meticulous exercise lost about 56 pounds. I actually went back to my notes to like try to remember how much I lost. And even though like I wasn't aware of like DEXA scans at the time, and we had both have access to these in-body machines,
Mhm.
so I can't put an actual number on how much muscle I put on over like the last 6, 7 years, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess it was like 15 to 20,
Yeah.
um, which makes sense based on like how much weight I lost. But really, it was through like working out 45 to 60 minutes a day. It was through working out 6 to 7 days a week. I was probably doing 2 days of arms, maybe one on like arms, one on shoulders. I did one with like you're doing like waist and then like core, and then one on legs, and then I think I was doing like 2 to 3 days of cardio. Um,
So it's like 5 or 6 days.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, I think like
Like
when I
total.
get to 6 or 7, I think it was like the cardio would offset
Mm.
too, because I wanted to work out every day, but I was like, I still was really big into like running,
Yeah.
which I'm picking that back up because there's a chance I might run the marathon.
Yeah.
Um, I just
Which
love,
is awesome. That's
yeah,
crazy.
I kind of love being outside. Like it's just
Yeah.
like makes you just love New York City, love wherever you are, just to
Hmm.
be out with it. But I mean, it was what I realized in retrospect was that my fitness was I just it was like my one lever. It was like a one kind of leg stool. And so my fitness was solely dependent on how much time I had to work out.
Mm.
So like when I got really busy in college, I started to gain weight. And then when I got more time back, I got into a rhythm, I started to lose it again. It was only about a year and a half ago that I started to like unlock the other elements of health, like nutrition and sleep.
Hmm.
And then through that, I've actually started to lower how much I work out. So I work out probably 3 days a week, 30 minutes. I do one on like arms and shoulders, and then I do one with like legs, and then I do one for cardio. And then if I do a fourth, it's usually core. But it's actually amazing to see like I am now in the best shape of my life, and I work out less
Yeah.
than I did when I was in great shape then too, but in a different sense. Like it was all fitness. So
But you would say you probably don't like, did you take back some days because you don't like love spending so much time in the gym now, or do you mix in like your other areas like sleep, energy, social things,
yeah,
or
well, I think we were talking about this a little bit, but I think like at the end of losing the weight, I started to get more obsessed with the aesthetics of it, like getting the right look, getting the right build. But that wasn't necessarily my goal going into it.
mm,
And I think I'm starting to l- realize that I was never really into the gym. I think I got into
mm,
like the hype that was
mm,
associated with getting fit. And I like the strength that comes along with it. I mean, I feel, and it comes with like having built muscle and like a little bit of boxing, a little bit of like weightlifting.
Hmm.
Like you start to realize like you start to be able to do more.
Yeah.
And I like that, but I wouldn't say I love like the gym. Like it's just like putting in earbuds, you're kind of doing your own thing. Like I'm painting it in a negative sense, but
No, it's okay. It's your story.
yeah, yeah.
Like that is your journey with fitness. Yeah.
Yes, I wouldn't say like when I think about like what I want to do long term, I don't see going to the gym every day
Mm.
as a part of that. Yeah.
Hmm.
But what about you?
Yeah, I would say some of the, I guess, the practical or the journey parts. It's like, yeah, I started around 16 as well.
Yeah.
And I remember this one memory of doing endless crunches, but getting nowhere with that because I was 16, didn't know any better, had poor diet, all these things. And then I took a hiatus. Like I probably came back to fitness or working out probably around 24.
Mm.
So it was like maybe 6, 7 years ago. I don't really know what happened from 18 to 24. I wrote that. I was thinking about that while I was writing my notes today, and I don't know what happened in that like 6-year window. But around 24, I was so sincere about getting back to it, and I actually really loved it from the start. Like I loved going to the gym, and I still do. I am so fascinated by how much your body can change and put on muscle, and like all the mechanisms of working out and how that pairs with your body. So yeah, I started weight training around 24 after a few years off. But I think I had a poor framework for a diet, which I've mentioned before. And so that mixed together, I think the results were a little bit catastrophic. And then a few years later, I figured out the tweak was to fix my diet and get some protein-rich foods. And then my workout like kind of skyrocketed, I would say. Like, it's true what they say about like there's newbie gains. Like when you're new to the gym, like you gain like an exponential amount of muscle like in the first year or two.
Yeah.
And I think plateaus are real too. I remember there were times where I would just go because I needed to go, but I would just be kind of plateauing. So yeah, I've learned over the years to kind of mix it up, make it fun, do what works for you. I do a PPL split, like a push-pull leg. I don't follow it as strict anymore, but I loosely follow it. So like, let's say Monday, it might be a push day, so I might do chest and try, and then Tuesday I'll do back and bi. I'll mix shoulders in there at some point, and then legs. So yeah, today, actually for the past few years, I would say I'm probably in the gym 6 to 7 times a day. That includes, lifting weight, cardio, recovery, like sauna. And as of lately, I've been trying the cold plunge.
Yeah. Wait, have you really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't think I told you that, but it's not something I enjoy at all.
Yeah.
And I can't say I've seen the benefits yet, so I'm a little bit more hesitant to get in that pool sometimes. But
listen, there's this thing in New York called Bath House, which I got advertised Bath House like an unhealthy amount of times, but I guess it worked because I went. Yeah. And they were like, you should try to do 15 to 20 minutes in the sauna and then go to a cold plunge. And kind of into this like humility, I was like, I'll do that. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Imagine going from 180 degrees to 40. It was like, yeah.
Yeah, the one we have at our gym is 50.
Oof.
And it fluctuates between 50 and 51. And the 1 degree makes a huge difference. I can imagine 40. I can't even imagine 45, to be honest. But yeah, so yes. I would say initially I was lifting more for progressive overload and like hitting PRs and all those things. There was a healthy amount of ego as well. But yeah, I think now I've found a pretty good split for myself, and now I'm less focused on hitting PRs. Honestly, like probably not at all focused on it, and more focused on mobility, getting stronger. I do push pretty heavy weight. I think there's a good in-between spot where it's not super light and it's not super heavy where you're tweaking your entire body. Um, but I've also had some injuries over the recent years, like over the past maybe 5, 6 years. I've been in a few car accidents, so like my knee, my back kind of like got a little wonky, and then I messed up my shoulder 2 years ago, actually doing a heavy press, and so I was out from like upper body workout for a year. So actually, this past year was my first year back.
I actually don't know if you ever told me the story of the car accident. That's
Yeah, been in a few and been
who
like
was driving? Was it you driving?
I think this episode's on fitness. So I wasn't always driving.
Wait,
I would say all the injuries that I faced from car accidents, I was not driving.
okay, so from the way JB just reacted, he was driving 100% of the time.
I promise I was not. But
going back to this fitness, okay, so you're doing PPL. When was the move from, because I also did a move from like increasing, trying to hit PRs like every month or so to more mobility based as well. Like what was the transition?
I think it was when I injured my shoulder and this was probably an existing injury for maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And I saw a PT for it, and there were so many exercises to do, and it got better. But ultimately, he told me, you just got to go to the gym and like start working on it. And I did, and it got stronger. And then, unfortunately, I tweaked it again. But yeah, I would say mobility work I've been focused on more the recent like 3 years. And I'm not doing a huge. I don't want to paint the picture like I'm doing a ton of mobility. Mostly because I like just getting in there, doing a little stretch, like 5 minutes, and then just doing the lifts. But I would like to do more mobility work because I think that is what gives longevity, and that is my goal.
Yeah.
I know we'll get to goals later, but yeah, I think that is a huge part of what fuels me now. And so I'm not too concerned about how much am I benching or how much am I squatting. I feel like, I don't know if I was going to say those days are behind me. I don't know if maybe there was a time where I did care about things like benching and squats for sure. Like I think every guy does. But yeah, now I'm more focused on form, but also pushing myself enough.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of recommendations. There's people who say like 2 sets that are really heavy, great, or like 3 sets of like, 8 to 12. There's like a lot of information out there. You could train for hypertrophy, or you could train for like just pure strength where you're just doing 1 rep. I think you find what works for you, find out your goals,
Yeah. And I think it's kind of hard because a lot of guys don't, at least I would put myself into this bucket. Like outside of losing weight, I didn't really know what my goal was. And on top of that, I think I was a bit cocky in my background. It's not my favorite word, by the way, but like egotistical maybe is another word. Like I think as we kind of talk about like where we are now, I think it was maybe about a year ago that I started to hear people talk about my form and stretching. Like for legitimately 5 years, I didn't stretch at all before going to the gym. And I just don't think I don't think I had terrible form, but I don't think I had good form either. And like, I don't think I was also, it's also hard because the gym is not something where you necessarily go up to people and you're like, hey, you're doing this better. And it's a little weird to ask. But like, I think I'm bridging that gap. I've started to stretch for like 5-10 minutes a day. And I was actually like, I'm trying to like look at other people doing the exercises. Like, I remember I was at the gym and I was doing squats, and I saw this woman next to me doing squats as well. And I was looking at her form, and I was like, much different than mine. And I looked it up, and her form was right.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my, like it's kind of like oh my gosh, like I've been doing this wrong for a long time.
Yeah.
So, but I've had some back pain. I've had some like, just pain that's not from like that's like, it's not even like, oh,
like a soreness from working out. Yeah.
Yeah. Different than that.
Yeah. I will say it's been a while, but now that you're mentioning like asking people, when I started, now it's been like 7 years. So maybe like 7 years ago, I remember I was asking people like, and over the years, I'd be like, I'd just go up to somebody, and they're usually, the gym community is so positive and it's so encouraging. People are always happy to help. And the people you probably think would never want to help are like the nicest people, like
Mm.
the biggest, like the most strong looking aesthetically or whatever. But yeah, I would ask people, and I would say it's not the best when I see somebody kind of like stepping in and like asking me or like telling me something. I feel like there's a way to do it and etiquette about it, but I think one reason I do love the gym, and more so with the gym that I was at before the one I'm currently in, was the gym culture, the community.
Mm.
The community aspect was so great. Like I'd go in the gym and I'd be there for hours primarily because I'm talking to people and working out. Like,
Really?
and we're all like, it felt like a after school activity. Like you had people of all ages and a lot of people around my age, but also like older, younger, didn't matter. We're all like doing this together. We're all like we could spot each other, or we could just talk to, literally just talking, hanging out, and like we know what's going on in each other's lives. Like it was really, really cool. I don't have that as much in my gym currently. I'm starting to, but I think that is one big reason I do love the gym. It's like I can't work out at home. Like I can't have a home gym. I don't foresee that. And like yeah,
I feel like a lot of times people don't really work well with the home gym.
Yeah.
I think it's more like you convince yourself.
yeah,
It's convenient.
yeah.
You know.
I don't know. I think gym fitness is one of those few things in life that men, women, like everybody comes together,
Yeah.
and it's a community. And I know you could probably do it wrong, but most people have the right mentality and the right attitude. And yeah, there's a lot of ego sometimes, or there's, I think, butting heads, or I feel like as of late I've seen people get into it like just putting like a phone like camera recording, and like if people are,
That's crazy.
that's a lot. That's like a different thing. But when you're just in it to get started or work out, or that's your journey, like it's usually like pretty encouraging. I've seen on both ends, and I would consider myself now like, hey, I've got some skin in the game. I think like my days of asking for help are like, I wouldn't say it's behind me at all. If I do need some help, I would ask if I'm trying something new. But for the most part, I'm pretty happy and content.
Yeah.
But the last thing I'll say is, I do think it's a very safe space for new people to try it out. Like anytime I see somebody new and they look like they're new, they're trying to figure it out, there's like no judgment from anyone. No one's like looking at them. And,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, because we're kind of starting to blur into the next thing, which is like a framework for fitness.
Sure.
But you're almost like talking about like for you, fitness and the gym are kind of like locked.
Yeah.
Like it's like one and the same. Like I think like with it's actually like in my notes I don't mention the gym at all because it was not a part of like how I got into it. Like initially it was running, and then it was the gym,
Yeah.
and then it was sports. So I didn't necessarily like think, oh, fitness, gym,
Yeah.
but like you've almost described like fitness as like a community.
Yeah.
That's different than what I had. Like when I think about like a framework for fitness, it was like unlocking, activity, like being active, moving around. Also unlocking capacity, capability. Like you're strong, you can hold, like you can, like there's jokes in the, because you and I both go to a church here in the city. There's like guys are always rushing to carry the chairs.
Yeah. I mean, that's just a Christian joke all around.
I mean, and it's kind of ironic because that is like the
I could carry
lowest
6
staff
on both
team.
sides, by the way. No,
It is like the lowest staff team in our church. Like nobody wants to actually carry the chairs.
Sure.
But like there's jokes about it.
Yeah.
And so I think like that's a big part of it for me. Like opening, like unlocking a new horizon. I remember like the first time I ran like 7 miles. I think I told you the most I run is 7. I realized now it was 10. But the most I
You
run
were
is,
saying 7 before this because he wants me to run with him, and I can't keep up.
he
Because you're a
has run
beast.
7 before.
You're a beast, bro. 10 is crazy.
I receive all positive feedback. So
You got the marathon this year.
potentially, we'll see. But I mean, that's what I always thought about it. Like I remember the first time, and by the way, I was there when you've run like a couple PRs,
Yeah.
and it's amazing to see somebody unlock a
It was
new
huge.
like whatever it is.
Yeah.
So,
And I actually haven't felt that way with fitness. I mean, sorry, the gym. Yeah, you're totally right. Because I think when I think fitness, I am thinking the gym primarily. But in my notes, I also wrote that I've mixed a lot of cardio with my regimen now or with my workout routine. And I think it's very important. Like, I think you can't, personally, I don't think I ever lifted weights.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever lifted weights to lose weight. I do think cardio and diet was a big part of that, getting steps in, eating well. I think when you're pushing weight, you're just getting stronger, you're building muscle, but you're not burning as much as people think.
Well, and I also like, I'm curious how you are going to see the change, especially when you're kind of like hitting the limits of how much you can build probably muscle wise. Like,
Yeah.
I actually don't know if we discussed mentioning this, but you're at sub 10% body fat, which is like, I think people will say that like, oh, I'm like a sub 10%. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, it's really
Like
it's
you're
crazy.
actually like built like a tank, man. Like incredibly lean. You get tons of muscle, and you can see it. I also think it's like you're trying to do even more, but you're probably like you're going from like 96 to 96.5 at this
Oh,
point.
I want that 0.5. And
But
yeah,
yeah, you're not making like there's probably not another 10% jump to go.
I will see. I want this at 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Like, I want this forever.
Interesting.
But I have mixed. So I'm kind of I came the opposite. So I started running more recently, and running was really hard for me, and it still is not easy. I have really bad asthma, and so I just feel super tight in my airways, I guess, when I run. But I started last year really taking it seriously, and Nathan was a huge part of that. Huge, like hitting those PRs with you running. I don't think I felt that way in a long time in my fitness journey,
Yeah.
period. And so it was incredible. And we were just talking about I would love to get back to that. And when I mix everything together is when I feel the best.
Mm.
Like, doing weights doesn't make me feel like, oh, I'm killing it. I think running, eating well, sleeping well, all those things. But yeah, I think the cardio and the recovery, actually, the sauna and the ice, I'll say the sauna has really helped with, feeling less soreness and things like that.
So for you, like your framework for fitness is more like the balance of the things.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, I would say it's definitely a balance of it. And I'm pretty, comfortable or happy, maybe not comfortable, but happy and like to push myself. I did also write in my notes, never been a, it's never been about motivation for me. It's always been about showing up. Like,
Yeah.
it's just discipline. There's so many days where you're not going to feel like, maybe it's not the gym, like you said, and that's such a good point. Maybe it's running, maybe it's just getting steps in. You're not going to always feel that way, but you just show up for yourself. You have to, because I don't know, my competition was never other people. It was just myself. I wanted to be the best version of myself every single day. And so, yeah, I would say don't rely on motivation.
Yeah. So for you, it's the balance. I think for me, it's like unlocking different things, but those two can kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Like, and you see this so many times. Like, I think there's actually like jokes about this in the gym world because you'll see people that are super strong with their arms, but they like never do leg day.
Yeah.
And then you see like really like strong guys that just can't run.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
I think it's ironic because they are doing these things to unlock more, and they'll like actually lock themselves out of certain things
Yeah.
because they've just developed a habit where they can't do certain things, so they're not able to balance, and they kind of like the opposite of unlock, which is interesting. I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah. I mean, I truly think it's dependent on a person's goals too. Like,
Yeah.
some people don't care about running or mobility. They just want the appearance of looking really big, or and there's people who take performance enhancing drugs and steroids and other things to have that look, or maybe compete in bodybuilding things, or
Yeah.
which is not our background. And so I think our lane is. I agree with you though. I would say for me, a lot of it is longevity focused is my framework. How do I balance these components of weightlifting, cardio, recovery, mobility to get to longevity, but
Yeah.
at the same time, probably staying in the gym for.
No, and I think it's also like your framework's going to dictate how you progress.
Hmm.
Like I would say, for me, I don't put as much weight on balance. I mean, like I think I can, like I think I've done a, I think balance has been more needed in some things where I've gone too hard on like my arms because for the aesthetic reasons
Mm.
in the past, but or trying to like cardio to train for something. But like in those things, I think I need balance. But for me, I've always been like, I think I can be unbalanced for different seasons of
Mm.
life. So, but I think like that framework for how you judge fitness will determine a lot of like how you act, like what you do. Um, and I think not having a framework is where most people sit. Like they don't, like if I were to go up to somebody and I'm like, do you feel like you're hitting your goals? Like, do you feel like you're going in the direction you want? I feel like their answer would be largely dependent on what other people determine to be good,
Hmm.
which is either like if you're brought into gym culture, it's like getting built, getting jacked, getting more muscle, versus like if you're into cardio, it's like how far you're running. And if you're like, for a lot of guys, it's like how attracted women are to you.
Hmm.
Like I've seen like looks maxing be a thing.
Hmm.
I don't know if you've heard of
I've
this,
heard of it.
but it's like doing whatever it takes just to get like more eyes on
Yeah.
you.
There's kind of a joke actually in the gym community, I think, where it's like usually the most attention you're getting is from another guy.
It is, it is.
Yeah, so that's like a pretty real thing. I mean,
Yeah.
but
Well, it's like so we have a friend who goes to Equinox, right?
mhm,
And like you're at Lifetime, and I mean, I think that people think gyms are like in concept a really great place to meet people romantically.
mhm,
When you go to a gym, you realize nobody talks to anybody unless they're
yeah,
like asking about the gym. Like I do not hear people like going up to people and being like, "Tell me about your day." You know, it's usually
yeah,
like why like let me check out your form or something like that.
yeah. I have seen some people go in the wild and
Hey, really?
make some moves.
Wow.
It's not me.
What's the best pickup line for somebody out there?
I have no idea. I have no idea. But
I like your form. Let me ask you about it over some coffee. Do you think? Over some
I think there are
protein.
I think it's an intense place to approach somebody because I think we're all just kind of in there for one reason.
Mm,
Um, and so I most of my interactions are with other dudes who are just either I could work in with them or I've actually made like a really good friend recently. His name is Ethan, so I hope he listens to this. And but yeah, he's now a really good friend of mine, and I met him at the gym, and now he's training for the marathon, and he just ran a half actually, and he's in the gym like every day.
hmm.
But we would have never met if I think it was over like the same machine. Like I was asking if I could work in with him. But now I'd consider him like a close friend or like, becoming that. So I think you can make good connections. I know what you're saying of like hitting on somebody.
Yeah.
I stay pretty far from that, but
Well,
I
for
think,
obvious reasons.
yeah, I think you do see it happen though.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Okay. So
well,
what's the dream? What's the vision then? Like
yeah,
that's where we've come from. That's
yeah.
where we are now, and a framework.
Well, what's your framework? You would say
Unlocking.
unlocking.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
I think I get like I'm always about like what can I do next? Like what's gonna be on the next. Like I love like the learning process of going to the gym.
Yeah.
So like right now my regimen is largely the same and it's
Mhm.
starting to get to me a little bit.
Mm.
It's like I want to like I remember you were showing me like some forearm exercises the other day
Yeah.
and I started to do them. I started to
Nice.
implement them. Not because like I was actually in my notes like I feel like I'm actually really happy with my muscle build.
Yeah.
So I'm not looking to like pack on a lot more muscle. But I want to like I like the learning component of it.
Yeah.
That's the same thing why I'm like trying to get back into running is because I always since I saw my dad run a marathon I was like I want to do that,
Yeah.
but I've never like done it, and I feel like doing that would be a huge unlock in my life.
I think when you said before we go into the future relationship, I think when you said the learning part,
Hmm.
that reminded me a lot of the recent years, a lot of like the YouTube content I consume is like fitness influencers or people in the fitness space that I don't know if look up to is the right word, but kind of admire or like love to hear from. And so I like watching their workout videos or what their journey has been like and the ups and downs of it. There's a few people I can think of, and I think that would be a cool place to start too. Like if you're looking for
Yeah.
learning or information. There's a lot of people who are into like science-based approaches, and they show it all online, and they back it up by science and articles and things like that. And there's people like Chris Bumstead, who I think is definitely like a face of bodybuilding and fitness. But yeah, people like him, Jeff Nippert is great. Even Andrew Huberman has a lot of things on building muscle um, and yeah, I think those are really maybe options. Doesn't have to be those people, but
Yeah.
especially if you're into learning.
Well, even as we get into goals, I mean, I think one of my points about how to position yourself for change last week was humility.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is something I've done horribly in fitness. I think that, well, I know that as I was looking through, like how many injuries I've had have been from me doing something wrong, but very confident about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like even with running, I think I've done a bad job of like asking where, or like even with the gym, like finding why to do things, what part of the body is working out. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was definitely something I was like reflecting on this past week. So
Yeah. I mean, I think that's part of fitness, and any journey is a lot of that reflection. And I think for the future, for myself, I'd say I'm pretty satisfied with where I am today. Like I don't see a lot of changes or tweaks. I think I would probably want maybe less days in the gym. Like I don't think 6 to 7 days is what I want to do long term. So probably scaling back a bit, maybe doing like 5 days. I think 5 is probably where I'd be comfortable, like a happy medium to do 5 days of lifting, sauna, and 2 days off. But yeah, I think I think of it as like the overall framework of like, I'm missing the sleep component, I'm missing the diet component, like the nutrition, the energy, all those things. But the fitness part, I would say I'm happy. I think I would like to do maybe a little bit more cardio or things like that. But yeah, I would say also, as I was thinking about a future framework, I was thinking about other people who are listening. Like I want other men to find it to be like a fun process, it shouldn't be a burden to try these things out, right? It should be like a beautiful process for you to, have fun, enjoy like these new gains, enjoy like muscle building, and you're even like seeing how hard you can push yourself. And yeah, I've enjoyed the process so far, and I've really like fallen in love with this stuff. And so yeah, I'm just happy to see how you can push your body and see how far it can go. So
largely the same, maybe just adding a little bit more like mobility and recovery.
Yeah, and scaling back the days that I'm in the gym. But I like what you said, because I think fitness is more than being inside the gym. It's running, getting your steps in, getting good sleep, things like that.
Well, and even like with a lot of these things, I mean, it's time that you're like, I think people who are in our age group are rich in time, but you can also spend that time really quickly. I mean, you're spending like 2 hours in the gym a day, right? Which means you're spending 12 to 14 hours in the gym per week, which is a lot of your awake time. I mean, I think about like, with sleep, like the more you sleep, the less time you have awake. I think that's one of the reasons like I maybe give myself a little bit of a harder time on nutrition, is because it's something I just do anyway. Like you're still eating. Yeah. But with fitness, I think that's one of the things, like as I looked at mine, was I don't necessarily think I need to have as much weight as I had on fitness when I was like working out 6 days a week to maintain the body I want. So I think like to me it was two big things. One was being active. So like walking, standing, moving around more. Like I really want to do more of that. And being outside in sunlight, being outside in nature, and just like being on the move. Like I got a standing desk at work. I'm trying to walk around more, trying to be less sedentary. I realize I used to sit a lot more than I do now, and I'd like to continue to see that as a percentage drop. And like lots of motion. Like I think about like getting outside more. Just, does that make sense? Like that's one of my big things. Being active. Like
totally.
For me, I think it's a lot easier to stay fit when you are active more. Like I find a lot of times people are using fitness to counteract a very sedentary lifestyle
Yeah.
versus I think you'll have to do less offsetting if you're already pretty active.
Yeah.
And then for me, the other one was like capable. Like I want to be able to lift
Mm.
heavy things.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be like knowing that almost if I stand up, that just bears weight in itself. Like there's like, oh my gosh, this guy can do something. I can step in if there's a fight. I can pick up problem. I can fix things. Like I like being handy.
Yeah.
And I think this kind of aligns with that. So like if I want to run with some friends, I can go do it. Like I'm not like, there's nothing stopping me.
Yeah. I think there's like this hype term that's come out in the recent years of just like hybrid athlete, which is like you're killing at cardio, killing at running, but you can lift heavy. But I think a lot of the vision behind that, I think, is longevity. It's like, hey, I want to be around a long time, and maybe not even longevity, but the time that I do have on this earth, I want to move well, I want to lift heavy, and like I want to be the best shape that I can. And I think the sharper you do that, the sharper your mind is too. I think a lot of it coincides, you know. I wouldn't say I ever like worked out and like that helped like my mental, but I think you do have a sharp mind once your body is like kind of in tune.
Totally.
So yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying. Like having that, being like wanting to be capable, but also like, yeah, I think it's all like being active. But what would you say for somebody who's like maybe starting out in this? Like what's a good starting point, or even like good motivational, like a motivational word for that person?
Well, I mean, even like, it's interesting because we also were asking the question of like how to bridge a gap, which I think for you is minimal because you're happy with where you are. Like I think for me, for being active, there's more of a motivational side there. And I think for me, I want to do better about setting a baseline. So like I'm going to be outside. Well, I mean, it's hard right now because it's winter, but I'm going to be outside for 30 minutes a day. Like that's something I'd like to do more in my future. I would like to be sitting down for less than half of the day. I was doing the math, like I'm probably sitting down when I'm at the office, which is about like half or more of my day. I'm sitting down like almost the entire time. So I think by phasing out when I'm sitting then, like I'd like to be sitting less than half of the day. I'd like to be outside for 30 minutes. And there are so many studies about how sunlight can have massive dopaminic effects. Just sunlight, like just feeling the sun. Yeah. It so happens that we live in the largest metropolitan city in the world, so it's not as much of like a culture like going outside, but I'd like to work on that as well. Yeah. And so for me, like I'm probably gonna get a city bike subscription again this year and start biking home from the office, which is a 4-mile bike, so it's not like a 2-minute bike ride. Like it takes a minute. Yeah. But getting back onto that, I also want to like running outside more. And then in terms of like I always think about like I want to be able to run with my kids a lot when I'm older, and I would like to shift like playing sports with like friends, because I feel like for me like the gym is a very solo activity. Yeah. But I'd like to do more for like I actually was realizing this in my notes is like we've never worked out together.
Yeah. That popped in my head as we were going through this right now. I was like, oh, we should work out together.
So yeah. Like if I were to give advice to somebody who's like, how do I get active? I'd say that you need to raise your baseline. So if that is like, I go to the gym once a week, go to the gym twice a week. If I'm sitting down for 3/4 of the day, I would say try to get another hour of standing, right? Or if I am working out for 30 minutes, try to do 40, right? That's actually how I got like into working out 6 days a week when I was doing it. I was working out 4 days a week for 40 minutes, and then I did 4 days for 45 minutes, and then 50 minutes, and then I added on a 5th day, and it's like, you can increment. Like that's what you said it last week, like small steps.
Totally.
So yeah, I'd say like figure out where you are. Like you need to ask yourself the question of like, what is my framework for fitness? Where am I now? Where would I like to be in a year? Is that reasonable? And how can I best achieve that? AKA like what resources, environment, or people can best propel me to that? Yeah. And I think once you have that, you can figure out what's the smallest next step to take. Yeah. And like James Clear talks about it, like he's like, If you want to become a person who goes to the gym, just try going to the gym
Yeah.
before you know how to work out, just like being there.
Yeah, totally.
So
A lot of people that I've met over the years have told me like, hey, I didn't even want to come, but just getting to the gym, now I'm
yeah,
there and now I got to go do something. It's just, that's the biggest battle is sometimes even getting out the house, getting to that parking lot, walking inside. Yeah, I totally agree with what my brother is saying. And
but what
just,
about you? Okay, some guys like JP, my body, like I'm just not happy right now.
yeah,
What do I do?
yeah, I get a gym membership, start going like you were saying. I agree with a lot of things you're saying. Just show up for yourself. Don't fall into like a comparison trap. Don't, I think it's easy to go into the gym and look at other guys and think like, like I'm not there. Just like focus on your goals and the vision that you have for yourself, and don't jump too ahead of of what you are building, because it takes time. Even though like new gains are totally real, it does take time. And I would say, yeah, when I first started, it was the best time because you were really like moving machine and moving weights and things for the first time in your life, and you're like, whoa, like I'm capable of doing these things, And so, yeah, I would say get out of your head as much as possible. And it is one of those things where you do have to get outside of your comfort zone. But also, from my own experience, I've never seen judgment for myself or for others. Like truly, it is a very welcoming space. I try to myself be very mindful of how I speak to anybody at the gym and everyone at the gym. And so if you are in that category, like no one thinks that or I want to say no one hopefully like thinks that they're better than each other. Like it's just, we're kind of all staying in each other's lane, each our own lane, but also running forward, like the same kind of race, if that makes sense. So I would say try it out. If you hate it, you don't have to do it, but give it like an honest try. I would say you got to do more than a week. You would probably do like a month or two to really like get your body into this new like active lifestyle. And like Nathan was saying too, maybe it's not the gym right now. Maybe it's just walking. Yeah. Maybe it's playing sports. Like maybe you join like a soccer league over the summer, or you join like a pickleball or tennis league, or just do something that you enjoy. Like for me, I enjoyed working out, and like Nathan enjoys running. And so maybe working out might be a bit of more challenge for you, and you've stepped into that though. Yeah. And for me, running was a challenge, and I stepped into that. But if you're listening and you just want to start getting into it, and you want to build muscle, I would say the gym is a great place, but also do things that you love. Get into sports, get into different activities. And I would say also encourage you to go with friends. I know you will make friends along the way at the gym like I have and like Nathan has, but I would say, yeah, find a brother, find a cousin, a friend from high school, college, work, wherever you are, and yeah, do that together.
Yeah, the only last thing I'd say on this is like, find also and this is something I was thinking about as you were talking, is you got to find the thing that is also energizing you outside of the activity itself. Like I think about one of the reasons that I really liked going to the gym was, and this is no shit, like I love my dad, right? But I would go to school and then I would be with my family a lot, and sometimes like I'm introverted, so I like time alone. And there was something nice about running alone. Now I love to run with my dad. I love to run with friends. Like I love when we run together, right? Also, like going to the gym alone gave me like an activity to just like be alone with my thoughts for a few minutes and kind of recharge. Yeah. I feel like if you are a social person, it might be a better investment to go find like a Volo league, or to find like a program within like a local YMCA or something like that that's going to kind of give you that communal aspect. Yeah. Like hitting up a friend and being like, honestly, like if you have a friend who goes to the gym, hitting them up and being like, can I come with? Yeah. So I think it also like, you want to lower the barrier of entry so much that it's just as easy as like something that's not a good habit to start. Yeah. So
I was looking up some statistics actually, and I know usually you do that. But one of the things I saw was Gen Z is actually the most active generation.
Are they really?
Yeah. with 87% exercising at least 3 times a week. So
Wait, can I ask you this? Don't take any offense on this. Are you millennial or Gen Z?
I'm not taking offense. I'm millennial.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I'm more active.
Which
than
I
you.
was like, hey, listen, millennials, I feel like we're pretty active too. But no, I think the last thing I would, or I know we keep saying last thing, but something that just came to mind, and I'd be remiss if I didn't share this, is there's a lot of information out there. I think one of the things that I fell into, I mentioned a few weeks ago maybe, was I listened to a friend who just kind of gave me bad advice, and it led me into like a year or two of things I had to reverse. So I would say even the things that we are sharing, weigh them against like, good research studies. I mean, we're kind of sharing what we have gone through and what's worked for us and what we think will work for you. But be also wary of like who you let into your lives, right? So, or what voices you're hearing for fitness. Like there's so much information. And so just kind of take things with a grain of salt, figure out what works best for you. Don't be afraid to ask people for help or even reach out to us. I mean, we'd love to like run this with you guys. We were even talking about maybe doing like starting to do runs together. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and as we wrap, like it's actually such a good point about like why we started Brothers and Sons is because like we didn't want to add water to the ocean of information out there that so much of it is just bad information. But we realized that one, a lot of the information is coming from people that are frankly bad. And a lot of it's not bad information, it's just bad people delivering it and bad solutions they offer. And then B, there was just a lack of like vulnerability.
Yeah.
People are not willing to share advice. Like it just feels like even the people that have it together, they don't share when they like did something, like they got on a program that was bad, or like they were super egotistical that they almost like got hurt multiple times because of bad form.
Yeah.
Right. Which are things that you are going to go through. Like you are going to hit a mistake. That's not bad if you hit a mistake. Yeah. So we want to like lead with vulnerability. And then the other thing that like we're big on is like everything that we do, even though this is made for everybody, stems out of JP and my heart to essentially share the goodness of God, that what we're doing. Like that's why we're open with the struggles we go through. We don't see it as embarrassment. We see it as gain. Like everything that we go through qualifies us to speak into it. And we have a God, Jesus, who doesn't condemn us for what we've done, but loves us and calls us friend, who died so that we could be adopted sons of God. A God that, and to think about God of the universe loving us and not judging us for what we've done wrong, but inviting us to higher. And that's really our heart for men, is like, we want to invite you to a higher vision for your life. And ultimately, the best way to do that is coming into a relationship with Jesus. So if you haven't heard of Jesus, like, please, like, hegetsus.com, DM the one of us, right? And we would just love to continue to talk about like how Jesus has changed our lives. And so I think JP's going to pray us out, but we're excited for the next episode.
Yeah, so, absolutely. Yeah. All right, I'll pray. Heavenly Father, God, thank you so much for this day. Thank you for this time that Nathan and I get to come together to witness and to speak through things that young men go through, that we ourselves have gone through and are going through currently, Lord. We pray that whoever is hearing this today, they would feel a tug not to be so impressed by our words, but to just start following after you, that you are the one who offers a better way of living. Like you offer the framework for life. You offer the best framework for health. And we know this. Nathan and I have lived this out and are living this. So yeah, God, I just pray for every kind of person, wherever they find themselves in today, whether they are starting their journey with fitness, or maybe they're new to it, or maybe they've conquered this and they're trying to figure out what else is out there. God, you are the source for everything. You're the source for life. So God, I just pray a new sense of purpose and living would come upon my brothers who are listening and my friends who are listening. Lord, would you give us a tender heart to receive from you, to receive more to this life, than what we are living for today. Pray all these things in your name. Amen.
Amen. Alrighty, guys, we're excited for this next episode on nutrition and diet. And so we're excited to partner with you guys in this, and we love you.
Yeah, love you guys.